Real American Tom Selleck has had enough of Rosie trashing Trump, hits her where it hurts. Rosie O'Donnell tends to stick her foot in her mouth every time she opens it. It's as if her foot was metal, and her mouth is a magnet. I guess it's better than having her head shoved where the sun doesn't shine. It's no surprise that O'Donnell is as far left as they come. She has made many inflammatory remarks on subjects she really doesn't have a clue about. You can only imagine what her morning routine must be like. Waking up, pissed off, looking in the mirror and pointing at herself. You can do it, Rosie, Republicans are the enemy, you're a goddess. I've got news for Rosie, there isn't a bone in my body that thinks you're a goddess. Day after day, night after night, Rosie takes to Twitter and attacks President Trump, as well as his 62 million supporters. Rosie. They are coming for you, dipshit, and her kids, her days are numbered, you fool nobody, you tool, go to hell, we are not afraid of you. Rosie. Jim Comey has lived a life of service and dedication he is admired, unlike you, Don the Con. I think it's time Rosie is locked up in a mental hospital for a very long time because this woman is beyond couch time. No therapist can handle the insanity this woman spews. Rosie, along with 99% of Hollywood, are all on the same brain wave, and it's scary. It's no surprise Kanye West had a mental breakdown. If I lived in Hollywood I would probably do the same. The now cancelled Rosie O'Donnell show on NBC allowed Rosie to tell the world just how biased and hateful she was as a person. It's no surprise that Rosie's show was cancelled. The saying goes that if you live in Hollywood you can't be a conservative or a gun owner. I think Tom Selleck found that out the hard way. Selleck appeared on the show once to talk about his new movie that was about to hit the big screen. Instead of talking about the show, Rosie decided to corner and interrogate Mr. Selleck for appearing in an NRA commercial. Via Capitalist magazine. In left-leaning Hollywood, one could more safely come out of the closet and admit to child molestation than a support of the Second Amendment. For Selleck's colossal sin of being in Hollywood and conservative, the Queen of Nice jumped on Selleck the way Jeffrey Dahmer attacks a Chateaubriand. O'Donnell, but you can't say that guns don't bear responsibility. Why would the NRA be against assault rifles? This is a gun that can shoot 5 bullets in a second. This is the gun that those boys brought into the school. Why the NRA doesn't say as a matter of compromise we agree. Assault weapons are not good. Selleck, I can't speak for the NRA. O'Donnell, but you're their spokesperson, Tom. You have to be responsible for what they say. Selleck, I'm not a spokesperson. O'Donnell, but you can't say that I will not take responsibility for anything the NRA represents if you're saying that you're gonna do an ad for the NRA. Selleck, you're carefully skirting the issue. It's an act of moral vanity, Rosie, to assume that someone who disagrees with your political agenda to solve our problems cares any less or is any less. O'Donnell, I never said you cared less. Tom, I don't think you care less. Nor do I think the men in the NRA cared less. I simply said, why can there not be a compromise? Selleck, there is a compromise. There's a compromise in enforcing laws, there's a compromise in not allowing kids with guns in schools. The problem is, and what you don't seem to realize. Look, we all hang out with people we agree with, and you have a very one-sided view of the fact, but what you don't understand. O'Donnell, as does the NRA, and the people you hang out with in the NRA have a one-sided view, as well. Had O'Donnell allowed him to speak, Selleck might have mentioned that people use guns perhaps as often as 1 million times per year for defensive purposes, undoubtedly preventing large numbers of murders. Selleck might have said that Scotland and Ireland, countries with tough gun laws, have higher murder rates than the United States. Or that Switzerland, with a per capita gun ownership higher than ours, has a lower murder rate. Or that studies show that a woman who resists her attacker with a gun stands a better chance of avoiding injury or death. Or that convicted felons, when polled, say they are less likely to attack an armed person or enter a house where a gun is present. Or that Rosie O'Donnell does commercials for Kmart, where one can purchase a rifle. A piece of work, emotional liberals. Capitalist magazine. The NRA has been attacked for years for standing up to the federal government and making sure our Second Amendment rights are protected. There is no greater cause by the left than the one to take our gun rights away. The progressives know that as long as we keep in bare arms they cannot control our lives like they want. Over the last 4 decades they have slowly started to disarm us, but with the election of Donald J. Trump, their efforts have failed. President Trump spoke at the National NRA Convention in Dallas, Texas this week. It's nice to see someone in high office standing up for the rights given to us by God.